Hi guys, welcome back to our channel.
Molweni.
Welcome back to the voice box. So we've been gone for a while, and why is that?
Obviously, it was like the December holiday and everything, and of course, one of us was out of town. I'm not going to go guys, so yeah, we just like one of us had to leave. But we're and once again, thank you for continuing to give us some love. I mean, a lot of you guys have really been showing us some love on our socials and Sebulela. And because we've been gone for a while, we don't have one guest, but we've got two distinguished ladies. As I said,
Very two.
Distinguished. So yeah, Balapa guys, who are you guys and why are you guys here?
Well, my name is Alatha Pinyana. It's Alatha Pinyana on Instagram and Swelekisa on Twitter. So that's where you can find me. And we're here to speak on a very interesting topic that I think the host will introduce.
And when is this?
Hi guys, my name is... My name is Noziphiwo, but everybody calls me Nozi. And on Instagram and on Twitter, I'm pure_08.
Awesome stuff. Over to you, bro.
Okay, so today we are talking about body positivity. Yeah, so that's why we have these two lovely ladies with us today. We'll be going into detail on some touchy subjects related to body positivity and sharing our thoughts.
Of course.
And we decided to pick their brains because these ladies are quite smart and we thought we could learn a lot from them. So yeah.
These ladies are quite smart.
Cool. Do you want to pose the first question?
Okay, so since we're talking about body positivity, our first question to you guys is, what does body positivity mean to you?
Do you want to go first? Alright, I'll go first. For me personally, body positivity is just doing my best to kind of accept myself in the body that I'm in, especially living in a society that's constantly fat shaming people who are my size and people who look like me. It's so important just to be able to look in the mirror every day and actually tell yourself that you are beautiful. So essentially it's just me trying to, ensure that I feel good about myself and I think positively about my body as an individual. I think I'm very much captured by what she said, but I also think like body positivity for me is a protest to exist in this body and to unashamedly exist in it. So I think it's very good to have it within myself and for me myself to know that I'm in love with my body, but to also express to the rest of our world the love that I have for my body for people who might not be in the same space, and also to just protest that I deserve to exist and I'm not asking for permission. So I think that's what it means for me, like ultimately, and also being very cognizant of how I treat other people's bodies, and that's what it means to me.
You guys said something like you guys were like off the same thought regarding protesting to exist, and you said it differently by saying that you are basically fighting with society, a society that's like fighting you. But do you think that growing up you spent most of your time trying to lose weight, that it somewhat took away the gift and the pleasure of like just being alive and like just like being young and carefree?
Oh, definitely. Like I think like losing weight and like just the whole diet culture is a very personal thing, especially for me, because I won't lie, I like my bodies more days than I don't. Like that's the true honesty about self-love. You are in love with yourself more days than you don't because you've been taught for so long, you have so many internalized like sort of emotions about your body. So losing weight is a constant like thing of like, because also one, even if you yourself are not prepared to lose weight when you're younger, you walk around so many doctors and nutritionists and dietitians who have proclaim themselves just because they feel like they have the right to make comments on your body and how it's going to be healthier for you, that you have even a very like weird relationship with food. And fat girls don't have food problems. Obviously you cannot be an anorexic fat girl, but like your relationship with food becomes so toxic to a point that you associate yourself like you don't eat because you like, not because you don't like food, but
like
because
you starve yourself
because you feel like you're gonna look better, or like even before you like there's so many things that go into like just the act of eating and just your relationship with like gymming and like stuff like that, and like definitely.
I remember I saw this on Twitter the other day that this other lady, she was dating, well, her then ex basically like would rip him on her whenever like she was eating a lot.
Yes.
And then she ended up having to like hide food.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what the fuck,
And she
bro?
was like, her current
How do
boyfriend
you
was
do
just
that?
like, yo, bro, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Just eat.
You know what I
like,
mean?
Yeah,
but the
no.
comments were what was very disturbing.
From the men
From the
also.
men, they were like, no, her man might have met her when she was
He
smaller,
cared about herself,
and then
her
he cared
health.
about her health. Hence why he was making those suggestions of how she should eat. And I was just like,
Nozi, what's your take on like that?
I told my the
first question, yes.
Okay. Personally, growing up, I'm not gonna lie, I was signed up to the gym. I was seeing nutritionists.
Listen.
I was being fat shamed all the time, especially growing up in a household with two people or two other children who were, you know, a lot smaller than me. It was always a thing of me being compared to the kids on some,
cool.
why can't you be like this? Why
Sure.
can't you be like them? Why? And I always thought to myself, I have so much to offer besides being fat. Like, it's not my only thing that you need to look at. So for me, growing up, I think a lot of my childhood was definitely me trying to lose weight, or me constantly thinking about my weight,
Yeah.
me having a really unhealthy relationship with food, even in the household, you know, trying to, like the person you're talking about on Twitter, I did that thing of hiding the food that I ate because I was just like, maybe I'm eating too much and I'm doing something wrong. So, or sometimes I'd starve myself because I'd be like, okay, I don't deserve to eat because I'm fat. And
Sure.
it's because the people around me, the adults around me, were constantly affirming that. It was a negative affirmation, but they were affirming the fact that, yes, you are fat and you don't deserve to eat because you need to lose weight so that you can look better. So, or be healthier. It was always just me having a very unhealthy relationship with food and my body because of the adults around me. So I feel like that shadowed a lot of my childhood.
yes, we've
Yeah.
done it all. Well, vegetarian, banting, Herbalife, Herbex,
No meat Mondays.
Jonga, all of it.
Yay!
Yeah, but
I remember-
you know what I mean? No way.
I remember I was in grade 7
Yeah.
and
That's
someone
like 2
in my
years ago, right?
family wow and someone in my family was talking to another adult, and then they were talking, I don't know how the topic got to me, but they were talking about me, and then this person said, I really think I should get her into surgery to go for liposuction. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm in grade 7.
And they're having a conversation
Are you
about you.
I was right there. Like, it's not like I was in another room and I was sitting right there, and I was just like, oh, okay. And I still think about that sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. Like, we moved on, and it's not something that I ever, spoke about again
Sure.
with that particular adult. But I was just like, what you're saying is it was just a lot.
And you develop like food disorders
Yeah.
because your relationship is so unhealthy with food, where
Yeah.
it's either like you'll starve yourself or you'll like eat a lot.
Yeah.
And like you develop this sort of relationship with food that is unhealthy in itself, but you also can't express that because anything related to you and food should be, or like some kind of weight loss, or you can't even say, hey, I'm not eating
Okay,
like
cool.
well enough for my body. Like,
Sure.
you can't have honest conversations about that because of like the whole like you must lose weight, we have more sort of like
Yeah.
conversation, which is just really bad. And eating in public as a fat person,
Oh, Mtase!
That's
Solo
ghetto.
dates as a fat person. Mtase, forget about it. Don't
Really?
forget. Solo dates as a fat
Don't do
person.
it.
Please.
no one
Just-
ever sees you ordering as a fat person. It's like, oh, that's cute.
Oh,
like
they're
she's
just
just
eating.
feeding herself.
No,
It's like,
there's
woo,
no way.
kasai, yes, I'm doing. Yeah,
I don't get
No, man.
Mtase. Like, the looks people give you, even if like it's a small thing, like going into a restaurant by yourself before your friend gets there, or whoever you're going with,
Okay, cool, yeah.
it's just a lot. I always order water because I'm like, these people are going to give me weird
Jonah?
looks if I order
That's not
even
okay.
a drink, because someone's going to be thinking, oh, the drink is
It's us
unhealthy.
dude, like,
Yo,
hello?
she's having a Fanta. Obviously, that's why she's like this. And I'm just like, you know what? It's okay. I'm good. I'm
you know,
alright.
I wasn't that hungry.
People are hypocrites because if you're at the restaurant, you're going to experience that. If you have to go to the gym, you're going to experience something
Jonga,
else.
germs are the worst.
Exactly.
Germs are the worst.
Exactly.
Because people look at you like, what are you doing here? Like, you don't belong here. Like, you will never do it. Like, you feel so discouraged by the gym. Like, exercising in front of people is the bottom.
I mean, also the fact that impahla for fat people. I'm talking about gym clothes.
Yeah. I actually believe
Like-
what they're saying, because at some point I worked at a gym, remember that? And I can vividly remember like the chats that we were having as fitness instructors, right? And it would always be this, no, you go trainer, you go and show around. I don't want to do that. That's the sort of stigma that's like would flow around the gym, because it's just like so normalized, like fat shame all the time. And as you're speaking, I'm like fucking checking myself out, the dog. You've actually been part of that conversation that was like fat shaming at some point, right? But then how do we move from that? You know, I think these are some of the questions that we need to have. How do we move from that sort of like normalized behavior and try and like eradicate from that entirely? Because the thing is that we just look at them as like fat and then that's it. And the fact that I'm saying it's them, it's so sort of like isolating fat people and not seeing them as people beyond just who they are. And I don't think that's okay. I don't think that will ever be okay.
I think the best way to deal with that is to disassociate exercise with weight loss and dieting with weight loss, because I remember last year I did like exercising to sort of like keep myself mentally fit. Like I had a whole completely different relationship with exercises. I saw it as not something that was like sort of like
I remember this.
I learned a lot of things like discipline and like sort of like a lot of like accountability to myself, and like a lot of positive things can come from like exercising because of all the endorphins that we know that they release. So sort of moving from the conversation of like you need to exercise to lose weight as like exercise being something that you do for purposes of enjoyment, for purposes of sort of different things, as opposed to like it's just for weight loss. And even with like eating healthy is a great thing. Like the idea of having like a healthy lifestyle so that you feel better, you're able to do more, as opposed to be like diets where like you eat this much and this is what's considered healthy and then you'll lose weight, as opposed to you eat healthy, you're able to think clearly during the day, it's sort of like moving away from the conversation of it involving my body and trying to change it so badly to like these are activities that people can do of all shapes and sizes in their own capacity and in the way that they feel like doing it and enjoying it, and like sort of like that's the best thing that would happen. But we all know that there will be no gain then from that, because diet culture feeds from the idea of us being insecure about our bodies. That's how it makes money, because I keep coming back, signing up for 10 memberships, eating all those pills I know I'm not going to use. So diet culture is kept alive to sort of drive people crazy and make them feel like they're not enough. And not even people that just look like me, I'm talking about people who might be in smaller bodies that are neatly packaged. They feel the pressure of diet culture and all of that, because that's how they make money.
Quick question though, friend, do you think that like diets are fat phobic?
Yes, because of the narrative that they try to push. Sort of like if you follow a diet, you're going to be a more reproductive, like even advertising for diets. It's always like there was a fat person and then there was a thin person. If you diet, then you're going to change your whole life and be skinny. There's no diet that says, hi, I'm a diet that exists for people who might want to try me and enjoy me and have a new way of eating. So like the whole industry is definitely fat phobic. It hates fat people. It hates us. And like, it's not fair, because like people then associate so much of like hurt with those things that they move away like from like things like that. So it definitely is fat phobic, I think.
Nozi, what do
Because
you
you've
think?
never had a Hebex for a skinny person. I just had Hebex. Tlasela mafuta for
The fact that it's
everyone.
Tlasela mafuta. What if you want the mafuta lao?
That's my thing. That's my chat. Is that like I can definitely go and exercise and eat healthily, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I want to lose weight.
Yes.
You know, as you said, there's so many other positive things that come with exercising on a regular basis and eating healthily. It's not just about me wanting to lose weight. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with me not wanting to lose weight and me wanting to keep my body. I also think just in general, the whole weight loss thing, it's never about actually being healthy as a whole. It's about the aesthetic. It's about you looking good because you're skinny. Because think about how when people lose weight, for example, how many times have you actually looked at a person who's lost weight and actually asked them before you go and you say, oh, you look so good? Also, that's a problem, because I didn't look good when I was fat. Okay. Before you say to someone, you look so good, do you actually ask them, how did you lose weight? What did you do to lose weight? What if the person is bulimic or anorexic? What if they're going through a lot of stress and that's why they lost weight? You don't know why or how they lost weight, but you're just happy that they lost weight. And that just goes to show that weight loss is not about you being healthy. It's always just about the aesthetic. It's about, we don't want you to be fat because that's an issue.
Yeah.
So it's very fat phobic for me personally.
This is a lot to take
And
in.
not all diets promote health.
Yeah, that's
Also,
true.
what I've like come to realize along like the years of like studying, because we like majored in body physiology, that there are actually like some non-diet methods out there that do not like involve you like going and like being on a diet and everything, but people just like would often go that route, but no, I'm just gonna starve myself.
Yeah.
And people actually don't realize, do you guys just like want to touch on that?
Yeah, people don't like, with like, for example, if you look at diets like intermittent fasting, keto, banting, if you actually look at the way of eating that those present, it's mostly for like sick children, or it was brought up for someone who was ill. It's not a good way to eat. It's so far from being healthy.
Sure.
Like, and diet culture will never speak about how actually being healthy is, and how that then would be, then if you wanted to lose weight, would translate to much more sustainable weight loss. That's another thing people don't speak about, the sustainability of that weight loss, because there's this idea that's pushed that if you lose weight you will become happier.
Oh,
do
part of
you
your life,
understand how
yes.
messed up that is?
Yeah.
I'm now fat, I lose weight with this expectation that I'm going to be happier, and sure, I'm going to feel happier the first few times because people are complimenting me and I like being validated by those people. Do you understand the stress of trying to keep that weight still off? And remember, you didn't use very like good methods.
Sure.
You were drinking apple cider vinegar, green tea, sort of very like impractical things to exist for a long time, and then you stop gaining that weight back.
Wow, no.
And
I was just like, nope.
There's the salt water diets. There's so many diets on the internet that are very bad for people's
apple cider vinegar
internal
too.
organs and everything. And people go through that. And now you're going through the mental struggle of keeping off that weight because you still want that validation. You want that promise of being happy. And then when you're not happy, do you understand how much more messed up you are? Because you start thinking, well, if my body is not the problem, maybe it's the inside that is me that's the problem.
Cool,
Because I didn't gain all those things I was promised while trying to lose weight. And people do treat you better when you're much skinnier.
100%.
Like, yeah, you just lose a little weight,
and all of a sudden,
so
hey,
wow.
people who didn't even talk to you now suddenly, and you're just like, hey, I was watching this show, can't remember what the show was, but it was a celebrity who had gone and she'd lost quite a lot of weight, and she was saying on the show how even just celebrities, and she was getting more jobs, people who didn't even love her were now on some, we know you, come, work with us. And she was just like, I don't understand, you didn't know me, you didn't respect me, you didn't care for me, you didn't want to work with me, only because I was fat. And now suddenly, because I've lost a bit of weight, now suddenly you want to actually recognize me as a person. And I think it's not only with celebrities and just people generally in your life, it also comes with jobs. How many times have you seen a fat receptionist? Please tell me.
It does.
How many
There's
times?
a lot of jobs that
That's
say send
very,
your
very
picture.
important.
And
Exactly.
you must look as sort of presentable. Our word presentable, because it all goes back to desirability politics, and fat bodies are not desirable to people, and people want to promote businesses, and society says that's not something that I really want to buy into, because the connotations of being fat is lazy, unproductive, gluttonous, just all negative connotations that people then are like, oh well, I'm not going to hire this person because they won't be able to do the job.
And it's like you could literally fit the job. You can literally fit the description so perfectly, but because you're fat, somebody would be like, nope, sorry, clearly this person's not going to work, they're not going to do their job, so I'm not going to do that.
It's actually
This is no.
Any more questions?
Let's just get it off our chest and that's it.
For me, I think we need to redefine the word diet.
Sure.
Because I don't think diet was intended, is a word that's only to describe starving yourself or trying to lose weight. A diet is the way that you eat, no matter how it is. There's an unhealthy diet, there's a healthy diet.
Right.
There's a high protein diet, a high carb diet. But because of capitalism, because of there's a whole industry around bodies and losing weight,
and
gaining
has the benefit,
weight.
of course.
Exactly. Now they've sort of ingrained this in our minds that certain words are supposed to mean that we associate them with certain things. And I think we need to try to step away from that, and I think that would be a good step in the right direction.
Definitely.
I think words are very powerful.
Yeah.
Like the idea I always say, call me fat. That's the description for my body type.
Exactly.
Like, don't call me all these other
Yay.
things.
Yay.
F-A-T, not even P-H-A-T. Fat, because that's how you would describe someone who's thin. That's the body. That fat means an excess amount of weight on someone's like body or skin. That's the definition.
Yeah.
And people are scared to use that word because they've attached so much
Sure,
hate
exactly,
to it.
yeah.
Like, so that when they use it, there's a guilt that comes with using that word
Yeah.
properly, because you've attached so much shame, so much hate, so much like undesirable things to that word that you're scared to use it and say that is a fat person, that is the thin person. And anyway, you shouldn't even be commenting on people's bodies because they didn't ask you.
Exactly.
You are not a nutritionist.
Exactly.
You are not
Rest
a
with it.
dietitianist.
Just
I
rest
didn't
with it.
come to
Now.
you. Don't comment. Just
I want
shut up.
to ask a question though, because you like literally like touched on it, but I want you to like elaborate more, both of you guys. That a lot of the time, fatness is often associated with ugliness.
Yes.
So just like give me a bit of a.
Yes.
It starts for me. I've noticed how people, when someone gains weight,
Okay.
will always say, "Oh my gosh, I've gained so much weight. Ugh, I hate myself. Oh my god, you are
Okay,
me.
cool.
You know, oh my gosh, I feel so
Cool,
ugly. I
cool,
feel so
cool.
disgusting." So many people use the word disgusting, and
When
I'm
they've
like,
gained weight,
"Ndase,
you're just like-
you're using it to describe yourself because you've gained weight, which means when you see fat, you see disgusting, you see ugly, but you're my friend. You're gonna say this
What
in front
do
of
you see in me?
So when you look at
I
me,
know,
what do you
see.
see? It never makes sense to me, because I'm just like, okay, you associate fat with so many negative things, not a single positive thing. But I'm supposed to believe that no,
You
it only
see me
counts
as
when you're
something.
talking about your body.
Yeah.
Otherwise, when it comes to me, a fat person,
Yeah.
you're completely fine. You think I'm beautiful. You think I'm gorgeous. You think I'm cute, because as a fat person, I can never be
Be
sexy.
fat and
No.
sexy.
I
Like
need
it's
to
like
be
when you say you're
cute.
fat, everyone will say no, you're
You're
beautiful.
pretty. Did I say
no?
Jimmy?
I don't have a problem.
Your brain. Give it a laugh. They often say that. I've
I
heard that.
didn't have a problem with being beautiful. I was saying I'm
fat. I'm just
Therefore-
describing my body.
Why can't me saying I'm fat equate to all those compliments you're gonna give to me to try and leave the conversation of the fact that I'm fat?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like how
And
people,
especially this thing of friends, I think people don't realize how damaging it is to be friends with people who don't look like you. It is so hard because of, firstly, the way that they treated by other people. That's how they then associate value to themselves.
Yeah.
And then that comes back to your friendship, because this conversation of a friend gaining just a little thigh and
that's
saying,
it.
are you fat? Or them like suggesting ways of exercising without actually saying it. That's the worst one. Atumdu, I've seen you in the club, you've done so much to me. Maybe you should like walk back from walk up and down. And you're like,
Why?
my body bothers you.
Maybe
Just
you should
say
join
that with your
Zumba
chest.
classes.
Just
Why?
say that with your chest. My body bothers you. Like, you hate the fact that you were friends with a fat person.
Exactly.
You honestly hate it. And the thing is that you're going to like tiptoe around, but eventually, especially when you reach a point where you are madly in love with yourself, where you are working on yourself, you see those things, and it really hurts, because you're not necessarily gonna go now be friends with every other fat person.
Yeah.
You might not get along with them, you might not like have anything in common, but it's also very difficult to be friends with people who have different body types to what you necessarily
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
because of the hate that they actually have internalized,
Yeah.
and how that can affect you, because those words matter much more than any stranger's
sure.
words could come to you. So have to tell your friends. Me, I told mine.
That's it. It's also just so important how you hear your friends speak about other fat people.
Okay, cool.
It's the weirdest thing how Umdu will say, "Oh my gosh, I was so annoyed in the bus. I sat next to a fat person. Flip." And you're just like, do you know how I feel every day when I sit on a bus and someone comes down the passage, and then they look at you
And they look so
oh man,
annoyed.
no, I'm not going to sit next to you, and they move also. If you are a fat person,
That happens
you
in my
are
gym
going
all
to
the
be the
time.
last person to get someone to sit next
Yeah.
to you on the
They
bus,
must be
because
desperate.
people always look at you with such disgust. Because why are you fat? Why
do you have to
Why
take
do you
up
have to
that
be
extra
here?
little bit of this chair that's not
Exactly.
made for you? Like, chairs are not made for fat people. Chairs make me
I've
nervous.
seen that.
I don't like going to new places and sitting on chairs because I
You
don't trust
really
them.
don't,
I don't trust them because I don't want to
Okay.
embarrass myself. You see the chair coloring and you say, hey.
You know those plastic chairs?
Okay.
I think in Mowbray campus at Advanced we had them.
phobic,
It's like a, it was like a
Plastic chairs are very
one
fat
arm. Yes, those
Yes,
ones.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That have side things, and then when you sit on them, you squeeze.
Okay, so guys, how's your experience of flights?
Don't sit in the middle. You actually you can't sit in the window. You can't sit in the side because
Just don't
your
sit
little
anywhere.
fat is
Don't fly.
don't fly. Just stay home.
Literally,
Because
don't
once you
fly.
sit in the middle, the people on the side they're gonna act up because like like little pieces of yourself don't fit into that chair.
Exactly.
If you sit on the side, you're gonna be blocking people that are sort of walking on the passage. If you sit on the window, the two here are gonna make an effort of pushing you
Exactly, into
that
the window. I don't
you
know how
feel
I'm
the
supposed to make
fact that,
space.
hey, and you're taking up space
Injalo.
here. So don't take a flight. Stay home. Drive a bus. I'm just joking. Take flight because you pay the same amount.
Take up space, Mdase.
Occupy.
Please.
Uhlale. But come on, man. Those flights.
Guys, my first experience, and it was my last, let me tell you. I was coming back from Joburg. Mind you, it was my first experience. It was my first time being in a plane.
Yeah.
And I got on the plane and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Yes. And then everything changed. When I got there and I looked at the seats and I looked at myself and I said, there's no way, child. How's this going to work?
Yeah,
Anyway, I sat down, tried to put the seatbelt on, and then I was just like, it's not connecting. What's going on? Had to
seatbelts are
get
so
up,
tight.
go to the flight attendant, ask her for a seatbelt extender, which then everybody turned up because I said it very, "Hi, sorry, can I please have a," because obviously abantu are fat phobic.
Sure.
She was like, "Oh, yeah, sure, a seatbelt extender. Sure, let me get it for you."
Thank you.
Now everybody in the plane turns around to look. Who is this person that needs an
Queen, yeah.
extender? Oh, Jesus, Mamela, was I not so stressed?
And then you clip the thing and it's under your spit,
Exactly.
uncomfortable.
And then you know
but
what?
I also don't want to die.
So that's why I said I would rather take a 17-hour flight to Joburg than fly because the anxiety that comes with being
Sure.
no, it
I'm
was
very
just too
scared
much
that
for
one
me.
day, like, I'm gonna have one of those. You know, why did I get married? Where she has to pay for two
To
flight
do-
seats, and her
I
man
thought
kicks her
about
out of
that.
the plane. I'm so scared one day that's gonna be.
Which is why I'm just like, you know what?
I will just cry.
If Basini, they're not going to tell me that.
Buses, they don't care.
let
You can
me
bring
just-
your bed, you can bring your fridge, you can bring
Alas.
yourself. Just bring everything in a bus. But also,
Exactly.
why must I go through the stress of that long ass trip that's uncomfortable? I'm gonna ride that plane. If you have a problem with the fact that I am fat and I'm taking up space, I honestly think you should deal with it. Like, honest to truth. But the plane
Exactly.
and we all
day.
deserve to ride the plane. It's not my fault that planes haven't been engineered or designed in a way that is comfortable for all body types. But that's most of the things that exist. They are
in
not
the
comfortable
world,
for all
yeah,
body types.
that's true.
Even car seat belts like get tricky in different cars. But like you want to stay safe, so
I need to do best. Exactly. I've thought about that because also like not just me, but also my family members. A lot of my family members are also fat, and I've thought to myself, the day I buy a car, one of the things I need to do is get the seatbelt extended because Galoko,
Yes.
I need to ensure that my mom, my uncles, my aunts, if they ever get into my car, they are safe. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, why must I now pay extra money probably to do that?
Cars are
Why is
tricky.
it that you guys aren't giving people
cars are also
enough?
another thing. People don't like sometimes fat people in their cars
Oh,
because
Can
they
I just
say
say something on
rude.
that? I've seen how people would often say, but no, tell a friend when I'm down, say
Sure,
such things.
I'm used to
Or beyond, yeah, like I've heard people say that a lot of times, and thinking to myself, what if I found a friend seat,
No,
guys?
you have
You
to.
have to, guys.
I've
But-
gotten to the point.
Space.
I've gotten to the point where I just do it. Like I just sit. If Sibaninzi,
I think
just
it makes
sit in the
practical
front.
sense if Sibaninzi. I'm not disillusioned by the fact that my body takes up more space.
Sure.
Like no one is disillusioned to that.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of like if there's 3 of us getting into the car, any of us can sit in the
Why
front.
is it that
Exactly.
But
I'm
if there's a lot of us getting into
Then
the
it
car,
makes
it makes
sense.
more
Sure,
sense because
yeah.
then there'll be more space at the back. But even that, people say like you ruin their cars if you're fat. Like there's a certain way where,
Yes.
if, like for example, if there's 2 fat people in your car, they make you sit a certain way. Even a car, yeah. I call like my friend. I see the motor. That's a job. I hate it because they built this car. They built this car They put this. It's,
no.
like, I think people forget that fat people are very aware of their bodies.
Exactly.
And they're very aware of how their bodies operate and what
Yeah.
they do. We don't need a constant reminder from you to like how to exist and how to maneuver that.
And
Sure,
it's like the
yeah,
rest of the
yeah.
world also reminds us on a daily basis. I don't need
Every
you
day.
to add to that.
But
also.
Alatha, when that happens, or rather when that comes from family, do you think that you often like call them out, especially family, or you just
Let
like
it
let them
slide.
be? Exactly.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I didn't. Like, I remember, like, I wouldn't call them out in any... And the funny thing is that I come from a household where I have a mom who's fat, who has a lot of internalized, like, fat phobia herself.
Okay, cool.
So she takes that fat phobia
Yeah,
out on you.
yeah.
You'd be so surprised. You'd think that a mom that grew up... Oh, and my mom, like, she partially didn't grow up as fat also. So she became fat when, like... So to them, like, them becoming fat, the world has happened to them.
Okay,
So they have this
cool.
narrative of they're trying to save you from... I don't
What
know
happened
what.
to
Yeah.
So like having sort of that sort of information in your head and like just hearing like all of those things, you start to obviously believe it and not call them up. But recently, I don't take it. I don't take it to the point that I've argued with a lot of my mom's friends, and I'm willing to further argue. I've argued with my mom herself, but with my mom, I've also seen it. It's a matter of also counseling for her. I
Okay,
need to
cool.
get her to a point where she loves her own body. Hence why she can never love my body, because she sees herself in me. And like I call her out all the time, but like before it was very hard because like even for anything in like especially families, there's a way to have a conversation. Buliswa ngeweight.
Uncle.
Usengaka
Usangena
so-
awusayityeba
Yes.
you uyatyeba umntana akho
I'm so
nocawe
tired.
you uyamosha
Akemkhulu.
you awusemkhulu.
Like-
Even today my mom's friend came in, she was like, I heard you had lost weight but you awusayityeba. You haven't even said hello. Say hello to
Oh
me.
my
Greet me. I'm a person. My weight is not conversation. It's not a greeting. It's not anything. Stop commenting on people's bodies, because I think we can only represent, I think unfortunately, just like fat people who get like shamed. But there's a lot of like people who have different abled bodies that also get shamed.
Sure,
And especially
exactly.
that kind of shaming goes underway a lot. Like just commenting on someone's body, whether you think it's a compliment or whether you think like it's you trying to be mean, don't do it. No one needs that. Like no one needs that. And I think even like as a fat person myself, I've had to check myself. I think it's very
Sure.
important. Like before I call out people around me, check myself. Because one time a girl came to me, like a reasonably what you'd consider like the body type that like, and I remember me like throwing a comment, being like, oh, you look so nice, you waist yakwa, saying like I thought it was a compliment. And she came up to me, she's like, you shamed me, like you, and I was like, skinny people get shamed, don't be weird. And then I realized I commented on her body unwarranted, not knowing where she is with her own physical appearance.
Yeah.
And anyway, it was none of my business. I should have said her outfit looks nice, kept it moving.
And like keep, yeah.
And
sure.
I have to then also check myself so that I can be able to have the honest to then call out other people.
Yeah.
But I do it. It's you next. Yeah, I do it. And you should do it.
Friend, what about you? Do you feel like you call them out?
With me, generally, andingomntu othanda uthetha, in the sense that no, hold on.
I detect a lie. I detect a lie.
I told me no. I know you. No.
Oh, wow, yeah, Tika. No, man, as in when somebody says something hurtful to me, it takes me such a long time to get the strength and courage to
Okay,
actually
cool.
come up to you and say,
Yeah.
listen, what you're saying is actually very uncalled for and I need you to stop. However, my brother is now 12 and people have started fat shaming him, and I'm just like, no ways, not with my little brother. You're not going to do that. So with family now, with my brother, and also I don't understand because everyone in my family is fat, and I'm just like, guys, eating the you internalized fat phobia, can you stop?
It's very scary.
So with my brother, definitely 100%, I stop it right there. I don't care who you are, don't do it. I will fight you. We will have a fight. But with me personally, I'm also at that point where I'm just like, you know what?
It is, yeah.
With my cousins, I will definitely have a conversation because I feel like they understand these things of fat phobia and. However, with Amanda Badala, it's just so much more difficult to have the conversation. And a
Okay,
lot of the
cool.
time, I'm just like, I don't have the energy for this.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really
yeah.
don't. I go through so much as a fat person on a daily basis anyway with
I
other
fight
people. I don't want to do this. Not at home, not in my space where I'm supposed to be most comfortable,
Sure,
you know.
sure.
I don't want to do this. So with adults, I'm just like, no. But yeah, with my cousins, I will definitely bring it up.
I want to find out about like your guys' love lives, right? Not like right now. Not like right now.
Right now, I think
But
it's
the thing is, I want to find out like, do you think that at some point in your lives that you would accept someone and date them because they are kind to you and that you never love them?
But not only that, but how does the way that you perceive your own body, how does that affect
Your dating, yeah.
life?
huge.
Huge.
Mecca.
Huge.
Like,
Huge.
huge. Mecca. Big. Because this topic, it really just unnerves a lot of things and a lot of discussions that I've had. But basically, like, how you feel about your body, how you feel about yourself is what you're going to accept people to treat you, right? And also people have this idea that once someone shows interest to a fat person, they're supposed to accept that because who dare will love you again? Like, it's sort of like a favor.
Okay,
you know?
sure.
Or someone who is in love with a fat person, they brave, like, not you brave for what?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want settled for love. I don't
Okay,
want
a project
favors.
move.
Like,
Sure.
you understand? There's even a show there was on TLC called Hot and Heavy. the whole premise of the show were good-looking people who are dating fat women. That was the premise, like the bravery of these good-looking people who have stooped so low.
Oh my
Stooped
goodness.
so
Oh my
low
God.
to date a fat person. Oh my God, the bravery. But anyway, that's beside the point. But in my own personal life, I have seen how the relationship that I have with my body has affected the people that I dated. Like in the beginning, when I just really hated myself, like in a time where I didn't see my body as something desirable, whoever showed interest, I was like, oh, yes, of course, like we're getting married. Oh my God.
Okay,
I
cool.
didn't actually go through the process of seeing what kind of person this is and how they actually fit into my life. Also, you start to realize that there's different kinds of interests that are shown to a fat girl. So the first one is either you're gonna have the fetish, you have the fetishes, or my size, or fat African woman.
I love your
I love the
calves.
way that stomach bubbles into the belly.
Voluptuous.
Me, I love fat women. No one goes around and meets a skinny woman. But actually, you know me, I love
it
thin
so
women.
much. Yeah, I guess.
Like there's people who fetishize bigger bodies, and we all know the reason that something is a fetish is because, like, it's like a desirability of something that's not meant to be desirable. So a person that like is fetishizing my body actually hates my body.
Sure.
Do you understand? Like that's where the root of it comes from. So you have the fat phobic people, then you have the bucket listers. The bucket listers are the ones that have put it on their bucket list that they must smash a
check it out,
fat person
yeah.
at some point in time and whatever. Then you have the ones that haven't dealt with the fact that their preference is bigger women. So these are the ones that are either going to keep you a secret, they're going to shame you for being fat. Don't you want
to go to the gym? Don't you want to lose weight?
Just want to lose weight. How about baby? You want like that guy
like
that will
this.
tell you how to eat. Then you get those ones. And you get the ones that they won't introduce you to their friends because squad things, because men like that their girlfriend's going to be decided by the rest of other men. So when if we came in, we like, oh God, tense. And then you get the ones that just generally just like, you get those like really into health, fitness that will come
because they want to fix you.
Because they want to fix you a project. You get the ones that see you as a project. Then you get the ones that genuinely this is their preference. But our food.
This is very possible.
This is a genuine conversation. Our food. Now you must settle because our food, not because we came in. And it's a very weird like. Existing as a fat person, especially online dating, every kind of dating. Because online dating, do you know, it goes as simple as like on online dating, even the picture that you post up, you look at it 10 times. Am I catfishing? Do I look like myself? Do I look like my size? Because I've interacted with people that said, you didn't look this big.
Yeah, you're catfishing me.
You didn't look this, and you took a picture that you felt nice. Exactly. You look nice in your picture. Sure. And then you meet someone that's gonna tell you catfishing me. The worst experience happened at a McDonald's. And I walked through, they were in a car and I was walking through a drive-through, and this guy was literally showing all his friends, I met her on Tinder, she didn't look like this. Like I said, and they were like literally having a full-on conversation, and I'm walking there. And then even online, I've had people that swipe me online to tell me how disgusting I am. Umdu could have swiped left, kept it moving, but will make this choice to swipe right, to tell you how much you disgust them. Like, and then you get the people that, oh no, I forgot these ones, the personality ones. That
Oh yeah,
really
I love
like
your
you.
personality.
I really like you. I really like you. But you're not that he really
Yo,
likes you, but he hates that you're
son.
fat.
Yeah.
Like he wishes he could take the person that you are
and put it in somebody
another
else's body.
So dating as a fat woman,
It's a lot.
it's a skill, man.
Difficult.
It's a skill because there's also a lot of connotations to like having a fat girlfriend. Like there's just a lot. Dating.
Rosie, anything that she left out that
Hey,
you've like
does it?
experienced?
No, not anything that I can think of.
Dating,
but
Chomi.
yeah,
Dating.
not even same. I stopped with the online dating because I was just like, yay, Jase. It's the constant fear that you are catfishing someone, even if it's
Such a
just a
strange
normal cute picture of you that when you thought, yeah, no, Mamela, this is a picture.
And can you wait from that picture?
No, definitely not. Why? You
Must
took
be
a
the
picture
same
3 months
size.
ago. You must be the same size.
You took that 3 months and now you're different
Stay the
sizes.
same, stay the
Exactly.
same.
Because a lot of
Exactly.
people want different fats.
Yo.
Oh, also I forgot the trend. The trend of liking big women now.
Oh yes, BBWs. I like my girls.
I like my girls
BBW.
BBW. Not gonna finish
Now
BBW.
everybody wants a BBW.
You don't
That's
want a
if you
BBW
cannot
that
handle
doesn't
a
have a big
BBW.
ass and
My
big boobs
God.
and a small waist. When you guys say BBW, you're talking about a small waist
Yeah.
and a big boob
You're
and
talking
a
about-
big ass.
You're talking about thick woman, but is it thick
But is
woman?
it thick?
There's this
and
one.
the fupas. Bring the fupa
Oh
over
yes,
here,
yes,
bro.
yes. Oh my
Bring the
God.
fu-
There was this one
Right.
tweet that I saw where a guy said, and it's funny because the whole thing of thick woman was actually started by fat women as part of the body positivity
Sure.
movement,
Yeah.
where fat women were just like, I were to see thick, and then society took it and said, no, you guys can't have that word. What we're going to use that word for is for women with small waist and a big hips and a big bum and
Yeah,
curves in
yeah.
all the right places essentially. And I once saw this tweet. I'll never forget that tweet. And I don't know why I was just so touched by it. This guy said, he said, what? He said, if Umtu walks into the bus and they look at you twice, as in gives you that look, lying in a passing, and doesn't sit next to you, you must know that you're fat, you're not thick. And I
What?
was just
Yeah.
like, as in that thing Missy Teta earlier
Yeah,
about
yeah,
people
yeah,
walking
yeah.
into a bus and not sitting next to you because you're fat. He was just like, yeah, you must just know that when I'll call thick. Yeah, and that's how you must tell Bana when I'll call thick or fat. And it's just like,
Dating is strange.
what
guys.
why are you saying such things?
Dating,
It's
Clubbing.
it's just.
clubbing
I'm
as
not
a
going to
fat
talk
person.
about clubbing. I'm not going to talk about clubbing.
Dating as a fat person.
It's
Yeah.
just I've actually, while working on myself, I have decided to stop
Doing certain things.
dating
Yeah,
essentially
yeah.
because I realized that I was iharika when it came to dating. That's what I was. I was just taking anything that I could find in terms of abantu. I was accepting it because I didn't feel that I was worthy of anything else. Like anybody who wanted me, I would be like, "Alright, okay, bet, let's go."
Cool.
And it's just like, well, what's the point of uchola when you don't really like that
You don't
person?
like
You're
it.
just happy that they accept you,
You're just there
and you're
for
just like, hey, it's
convenience.
so
That's not okay,
scarce for
man.
someone to
The
want
worst-
me.
The worst is dating like stereotypically attractive men when they want you. Like it's sort of a
Oh yeah.
like because a lot of people obviously the question is how can he be with her?
Why?
Okay, cool.
How
Yeah.
can he be with her? And I know for a long time, like when that used to happen, I used to feel good about it. Like, and now I was like, oh, that's so messed up. But like, I remember at that point, like I was like, oh, obviously people want what I have, and like as a fat woman, like I'm dating someone. I was like, this doesn't make sense, man. As a fat woman, I should date people that I like, that like me back. I deserve that love. I'm worthy of that love. That is someone that purely likes the body that I'm in, and in any shape and form, not as like a fetish or whatever. And even I want to comment something that has really also bothered me is. It doesn't just happen when you like a heterosexual woman. Like as a woman, for me who's bisexual, yeah, women also hate fat people. Like that is a general conversation that hurts. Like I think it hurts me more because men are so expressive of their hate. Like you know, you have an expectation, you have like these sort of things.
Yeah.
But when you are now a gay fat woman, they will pick everyone but you. Like they will literally look at you and say,
I
"I'm
can't.
gay, but I can't do
I
that."
can't.
Like
No.
it's almost like I'm gay, but I'm not that
Sure.
kind of gay. You're fat. Sorry.
Personally, no, when it comes to
not.
women, I find that I tend to go for women my size,
Okay.
purely because of Lady Titayo.
Sure.
I'm just like, listen, I know how
I don't
this
like
goes.
gearheads, eh?
And the thing is, like,
I like
even
gearheads.
online, when I see homosexual couples. It's always a fat woman with another fat woman.
Sure.
I hardly ever see, and whenever it is another fat woman, it's a plus size. It's a thick woman, you know, because those are the only kind of fat people that are desirable. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me just stay here where I know I'm not going to get hurt, because otherwise it's not cute.
It's really not cute out there in the streets. But Jolani guys, don't go clubbing though. Jolani though.
So we, sorry. So guys, we actually post some questions on our socials.
Yeah.
I'd just like us to visit that before we continue with the rest of our conversation. I just need to find. So we posed 2 questions. Can you remember what those were?
Yeah, the first question was what does body positivity mean to you? So we're just gonna read out one.
Yeah,
So
let's do
just
that.
choose Buddha.
So, so what positivity means. So this is by the first person that spoke. Of course, we're not going to mention names, but Uti and that, to me, it means being comfortable in your own skin and body, embracing all the flaws, the scars, the cellulite, wearing anything and everything that makes you appreciate your body and yourself, and making you feel good about yourself. And then the second one that I have, you said 1-1. Let's do 2-2. 1-1. Sati.
Okay, you need to. Okay, so the answer here is when an individual is in acceptance of their body, in and out, whether you're big, small, tall, short, no matter your skin color, you're chubby, you're thick, you're masculine. It's about confidence.
Word.
Yeah,
word.
so that's.
There was the second part of our question, which was what advice you would give to a third person, or no?
No. What advice would you give to someone who's
Struggling with body,
with
body
body
positivity. Any responses on that?
So, yeah, this one we struggled. Hey. Yeah. Wait.
I had someone that responded to me.
Yeah.
I can find it right here. So this one said that in order to do that, you need to start following social accounts of people who embrace their bodies and are very unapologetic about it. And of course, make sure that you starve yourself from those who portray the perfect body, and of course choose company wisely, as this is really important because it continually feeds you, and it really feeds your your subconscious mind as well. Then I had another person that just said just fuck everyone else, dog, just do you, which I really like.
I mean,
I really like. I genuinely liked. I really liked. But what do you guys think about that? What advice would you give to someone who is struggling with body positivity? So you see, no one's going to go.
That even me, I have days when I struggle with it, you know. So I find it very difficult to give advice to someone when even I myself, you know, am not perfect when it comes to such.
Okay.
I think the best advice that you can give though is it's not. I don't know how to put this, because English sometimes, but you will have bad days, basically. You're not going to wake up every day and look at yourself in the mirror and say, listen, and I'm the ish. You're going to have bad days where you look at your body and you might just hate yourself every inch of you, and that's okay. You know, you wake up the next day and you feel a bit better about yourself. You do things to ensure that you do feel better about yourself. I think definitely there's that. That's just the one thing now that I can advise to him that I can think of right now.
Hello, sir.
You will.
I haven't called you back in a long time. I'm so sorry.
During the
people. I'm so sorry, friend.
I think it's very, very important to be honest with yourself of where you are and what you specifically need right now for yourself, and also reinforcing the thing of not every day is going to be the same. Some days you can't self-esteem your way through life. You feel like today I really am struggling to self-love myself through this day, and it's going to happen where even if you don't feel like that, someone's going to say something that is triggering, that really takes you back to a place where you don't want to be. But I think it's very important to remember the fact that you need to do it for yourself. That's the main thing, because that's the first battle of it all. Is everything that some of the ideas you have of yourself are very much like diluted by what everyone has been saying about
Okay,
you.
cool.
So you need to isolate the feelings that other people have had about
This is
you
what
and the
you-
feelings that
sure.
you have about yourself. And if you have hateful feelings that are just purely from yourself, deal with those, because those are the most important ones. No one can help you fight those ones. You can block off everything. You can block off every skinny person in the world. You can block off everything. If you haven't resolved those conversations with yourself, that is the worst. Always walk around naked when you are alone if you feel more comfortable. Look at your body. Look at it. Like, don't ever try to self-esteem the inside and love the inside. Love all of that, but love the outside as much. Be as fiercely about it, to the point that you almost obsessed. Walk naked, stand in front of that mirror, speak to yourself, affirm yourself, even when you don't feel it. Affirm, but damn it, and if, don't ever be like taken away. If you feel at a point in your honest self that, hey, I will feel a bit better if I lose some weight, that's also good for you too. Don't feel guilty about that, because there's also guilt about wanting to lose weight as a fat person when you have genuinely felt like that's a feeling that you desire. So whatever works out for you, girl, love it. And also wear clothes that make you feel confident and beautiful, because that also makes a difference in how you feel. Do things that just make you feel good.
Like, quick chat, you guys should like reconsider, like really consider like writing about these things. I think that there's a lot of like information that came out of here.
Check it out.
I think I saw
On
an
the
article
Township
about you, Chomia, sometime last
on
year.
the Township Feminist on Instagram.
You guys should like
about fat
really
phobia.
like come together.
Didn't you share that
I think I shared that with you at some point. Yeah. This is her. But yeah, like really consider like jotting some things down. I think myself as Upenji, I really learned a lot from this chat today. And I think, of course, with our channel, the purpose of it is obviously to try and share information, you know what I mean, and have these conversations that people don't often speak about. And there's a lot of things that were said here today that made me to check myself as well.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people can really benefit from it. The people that can't reach this particular platform, but that could potentially, reach, that can basically get touched by information. So really consider that, guys. I mean, you guys know each other right now, but for me, it was really intriguing and really informative.
Definitely,
Buddha?
definitely. Yeah, same here. I definitely need to check myself in a lot of aspects, I've learned a lot as well.
Sure.
And yeah, I hope everyone else learned a lot too. So that's it for today, guys. Sorry for the long video.
Yeah, it's actually quite
But,
long.
yeah.
It actually is quite
Yeah,
long.
it was quite
Nondiet,
informative.
guys.
So how do we get hold of you guys on your socials, Gil? I mean, you did share them earlier on. but,
Yeah.
like,
Twitter and Instagram, I'm Piwo, PHIWO_08.
Instagram, Alatha.Pinyana. Twitter, @Butswelekisa. Because they are
Don't spell
selling.
Swelekisa. We don't know how to spell Swelekisa.
Don't do this, man. I have to think @Butswelekisa. That's where you should just look.
Okay.
Because they are Swelekisa.
Your handles?
Yeah, my handles, they already know them. It's Benji_Blom on Twitter, Benji_Blom on Instagram, and then Benji Blom on Facebook. And yeah, guys, Khutban?
Yeah, I'm Sinakho.n on Twitter, Sinakho_n on Instagram, and yeah, Sinakho Nompunga on Facebook.
And yeah, guys, this was really lengthy, but really worth it. And thank you so much once again for continuing to show us some love. Siyabulela betuna, like nisenza bantu on a reel, and I really hope that after this chat or after this video, you guys will continue giving us love. And please, man, share these things with your friends. Okay, bye now. Bye.
Aibo,
Like,
don't forget.
subscribe.
What?
Don't forget
Come
to
on,
share,
Dude,
comment,
intro
share.
yung
Come on,
Hit the
come
bell.
on,
Intro,
come
guys.
on, come on, man. Come on.
It's gonna be hard.
Comment below.